Crypto market saw some volatility earlier today. And if you actually try breaking things down in a way we understand it easily, that shows you like, okay, the volume to the downside is comparatively fading, and the chances are whenever you usually get into those range where the volume is low, you kind of go to the other direction. Or in simple format, you can say like price goes in a direction of least resistance. So if you are getting confused about the market, for sure we are looking at the short-term narrative to understand where the volume is, because you want to see where people are getting stuck. Meaning, at least on a 4-hour chart, if you can say like, okay, I'm looking at this chart last time when the price showed you that I'm breaking higher, I'm moving higher, a lot of people got stuck there. They entered in thinking the market is going to continue higher, but they didn't get a follow through. The price did trap them there and come back down. So I'm looking at this range and asking like, okay, back then it was the bulls getting trapped. Here is the bears looking in the same scenario. Are they getting trapped? If so, the movement here becomes more clear. We may actually get a bounce from this zone and there is going to be some upside. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. While the whales were really playing with the retails, I was there highlighting, guys, watch out. Because sometimes you need to actually break things down in an easier way. That's why I was also detailing them in an audio message to all you guys in the alert section that this is something which is happening now in the market. So you need to look at the short-term scenario and see like what's the order flow like. If the orders are getting filled quickly, they're aggressive. If not, you'll have to think about what's happening. But yeah, this is a short-term chart. This is to understand what's happening at this level of support, because we are here at this range in Bitcoin. Now, why are we focusing on Bitcoin? The primary thing is as Bitcoin moves, the market moves, and then you need to look at which direction the money is moving. It's still holding on. Bitcoin dominance is not dropping, or at least it's showing you I'm trying to bounce back up. It's not breaking that support level, which means watch what Bitcoin does, and then you can get an idea of what the altcoins are going to do. Because if Bitcoin drops and the dominance is about to stay the same, that means you're going to watch a lot of people getting rinsed in the altcoins. So you want to actually see where the panic is, because when you zoom out, as we just discussed in the opening session, say people getting stuck here means the market is saying, they're trapped. Let me go to the other direction, right? The market does that. You think, okay, we're waiting for a breakout. The thing breaks out. You enter, boom, it goes to the other direction. So we want to make sure that there are enough volume in that area. You want to actually see whether that order flow sticks well. Now, it depends on which region you look at. If you are looking at the entire segment, you get a lot of different idea in the market. But what you really want to focus on is the recent range. From this range, are we breaking higher? From this range, are we breaking to the downside or to the upside? Do we have a lot of volume to the upside? Do we have a lot of volume to the downside? This becomes really important, because once you put the time in and look at where we are going in this range, say by the time we entered here, the area of focus was like 28,123, and we are still in between. Yeah, we have a little bit of support around 25. We have a little bit of resistance around 31. But we are watching that as we go about 30, 31, the buying and the selling strength is really fading. Whereas you really had some playing out till 2025 range, and now we are watching like, okay, we came close to 20. But right now it shows 25 to 20 is really fading away. So those orders were whales putting in orders, initially showing like we have a lot of magnetic energy to pull you down. But as soon as the price came down, they're like, I'm moving out. I really don't want to do that now, because they think that can be risky. Or they wanted to show you the other direction and trap you. And that's exactly what I think is happening here. There's a lot of people who were trapped in here. Now the market is coming back down. giving them a chance to exit. Now, we have seen this happening even in the other direction. So if you actually take a look at this range, you got a lot of buyers getting trapped there, and eventually the price comes back up to the same range, giving them one more chance to exit. But most of them would have doubled down, and what happens, the price goes to the other direction. So we are watching how things are evolving inside this market. See, if you want to use the same system, if you want to use the same ideas or strategy to follow different assets, you can. Say, the only difference you want to look at is the volume. Is the volume favoring the idea which you're talking? Meaning, is the market agreeing with what you think is happening in the market? So now we are looking at XRP, we are actually zooming in, we want to actually see what's happening. We understand the fact that on a short-term basis, there's been a lot of people getting stuck, trapped, and then the price is moving into that direction. Why? Because we want to understand on a daily, where are we? We're still at this range. We didn't have a lot of people getting stuck at the top here because the price went up and came back down swiftly. So that move was like a rapid move. A lot of people didn't have the ability to do that. Whereas here, you stayed there for some time and there was a lot of people getting stuck. The price moved to the downside and then blew up. So one thing which we have to keep in mind is that the macro narrative always works. So a lot of people were stuck here. They're still there. As you go up, you're watching how the price is evolving, and the amount of volume does matter because the size of these bubbles kind of shows you, like, how much of the volume is trapped down there. Because in here, it is showing you that it seems like last 2-3 weeks, people are getting trapped in terms of the orders. So now if you go back to just the price action to see, like, okay, let me just use the price action to see what the market is showing me. Because if it's the trend line and a breakout or a bluff, it is something that we are watching right now. So if we are to just repeat the history or at least rhyme in that sense, we may actually see a bounce off just from this territory. That can be 0.43, 0.44, but it doesn't actually matter because it's going to be a short-term volatility. What do I mean by that? Last time, even with the SEC case and the issue, within a month, we went back up. We erased all of those losses. So to put that into perspective, say in next 30 days, if we're able to climb back up to 0.9, will you be happy? Now, I would be really happy to see that because my average is much lower, and as soon as the price goes close to like $1, I'm, in a decent profit. But yeah, no one is taking profits at that range because we have already done that in the last wave, and we are looking for a higher target range for sure. But you want to actually make sure you're following the macro narrative. You understand the macro direction, because if you understand that the price does all this, and then it gives you a macro flow, that is the direction which you want to flow with, because you don't want to go against the flow here. This is an area where the price action shows you like, okay, I had this range where I did this move. Now I'm doing that on a macro level. Next bounce can be way bigger than that. Now, does that look like it right now? No, I would agree that. Because there is a lot of fear and panic entering the market. So I'm thinking about this right now. Okay, what is the price action showing me? Or in other words, what do these whales want me to see? Or what are they trying to show us? So we want to actually see, are they trying to bluff? Because if they are, we really don't care. What we care about is the recent territory here and the breakout to the upside. We want to see how high we can go. That's why the area of support coming down to this range is still valid. Because as we went up, we didn't get much of a support. The price came back down. Now we are watching that we can come back somewhat close to this range and then bounce off. There are still orders pending in this territory. So as you zoom out, you want to get a better understanding of the macro, and you're like, okay, this is what's happening. Now, if you are super bullish about this asset, what you would like to look at is this territory here, last 3, 4, 5 years. And you're saying like there's a lot of orders pending in this range. Most likely they won't be fulfilled, because when the price action actually bounces back up, all of those orders will be taken out. This is just like what we just discussed about Bitcoin. They'll actually show you there's a mass order here, the price can come back down, and the price comes halfway through to a support. You guys may actually sell thinking it's going to go to the downside, but they will remove those order and put it to the upside. They succeed because they buy in using our money when the price come back down. They create panic to make us think that we are going to drop to the downside. And they use that cash flow liquidity to make more money. That's what institutions always does. But yeah, for sure, you can actually go into different areas of the market and look at all these different assets. And that's where I'm looking at this asset and I'm asking the question like, whoa. The price is here. This is where the trapped volume is taking me if I'm following back to a year. Now, yes, I would like to be fair with XRP and XLM analysis because I would like to go back in time and look at where the hell we are in terms of that. And when I'm looking at that, this is what the price action shows. A massive amount of volume entered back then. And if you look for last 3 years, the focus is more on to the top range. As we go lower, we didn't have any volume. It was almost fading out. And that's one of the primary reasons why we bounced off. Say if you zoom in on XLM, you will see this. Yes, we spent some time in the bottom, but while that price action was coming to the end, this territory, say when you zoom into that range, you can actually see that the volume was fading quickly. There was a lot of volume at the top end and that went quickly to the upside. Now, if you look at last couple of months, you want to see like, which area the volume is attracting the price to, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. For my eyes, it says not to the downside. And even if some whales want to push the price to the downside, it may get rejected at this territory. It may bounce quickly back to this range to fulfill all these orders. Now, yeah, that's it for now because that's the range of volume which we can see. Now, yes, for sure, you'll have to step back and understand what's happening because on a macro and a micro, you need to know what the market is showing you or at least have a better understanding of what the market is trying to show you because you need to think about this in one way or the other. When the price comes to the bottom and you are in a panic level, you will see a lot of people coming out in the market and saying like, it's breaking lower, we are going down. But you should know how to look at the market. You should know what are the different tools which help you understand the market better. Not everyone uses the same tools. We were trying to go through the price action, use different tools. You need the experience using all these different tools to actually understand what it shows. But basic thing here is the price action. At least on a 4-hour chart, getting a reversal signal, at least for the time being, is a little bit of a happy moment because here when the price action in Bitcoin showed you an engulfing candle, I'm like, okay, there is some relief and that relief is coming at which range? That's the primary reason of being bullish. It's a support level and that level is acting as a support resistance from an extended period of time. So if it's normal TA guys like all of us, we're like, okay, that's the basics. The support resistance, the price is coming there and it's getting some level of buys. Or at least on the other end, sellers are moving out. That's what we want to see. Here, if you go back, you can actually see like majority of the volume kind of faded away by this range. So by the time the price reached around 30K, a lot of the volume just dropped. Now we are kind of flat. We want to actually see some volume coming in as soon as the price goes up. That is one of the primary reasons why we are ranging inside this one. The price is just moving in and around this range. And as soon as we get some bullish movement with volume, you can ensure that's the direction which we are going. Say when we had this reversal breakout, you actually saw an increase in volume, which kind of showed you, yeah, we are going in this direction. You stayed on top, you had this level being created back then too. And as soon as you dropped with this level, it showed you massive volume, buyers coming back in. So that's something which we want to see here too, as the price come any way lower or show you a reversal on a daily, You want to see buying volume is increasing, and not just a small increase. You would like to see that increasing substantially. Now, if you are a bear, a seller, what are you looking at? This move to the downside had enough volume, but after that, you didn't have much in volume. The volume was fading off. You want to actually look at that too, because the same into the opposite direction, you actually got the buyers pushing the price up. You had some volume coming in, and then the volume faded off. So you didn't get much of a follow through back then too. Now, if you actually remove all those and come back into a weekly range to understand what Bitcoin shows, this is an idea. You're trending back to the upside. You're still at this range. Now, if Bitcoin is to bounce back up to retest this range of 31, what would the possible move in XRP looks like? Now, if it's me looking at this, I would say, okay, if that's the case, sellers are moving out on a weekly basis. Now, imagine this day when the price dropped that week, you had a lot of sellers, but now you don't. It's fading. Sellers are moving out for some reason. Why do you think that is? I would argue that it is because the price is at a support level. They don't want to take that risk betting against the market, saying it's going to go to the downside, because the trend is to the upside. You're trending to the upside. You're slowly bouncing off and you're at a support level. You really don't want to take that big of a risk, because what if this bounce is going to be something like what we have seen in the past? You flow around this region, you come back, retest, and then boom. If that's something which we are starting here, that's one of the primary reasons you can say like, okay, the big guys, the whales are slowly stepping back out. Now, for XLM, the reason it is trending against the market is the news and narrative one. And then, yes, it is already above this range of accumulation. Now, it had the macro accumulation. It broke higher. It's now doing a micro accumulation and a reaccumulation phase. I'm happy to see that the price structure is holding on, right? It's literally showing you what it has done in the past is what it is doing right now, which means you're actually watching history repeating itself. Say if you zoom out on a daily or a 3-day or a weekly, you will see how things evolve in this asset class. Most of them gives you similar ideas. Say when you actually go on using, say, let's remove this indicator for the time being and then focus on what this asset showed last time. This was your range of accumulation, great, and your range of reaccumulation happened to come into that zone. That's okay. That's what the price usually does, as long as you maintain the trend to the upside. It's massively bullish. Now, for sure, there will be a lot of panic while the price does these move. Unless you see a break, that move will attract a lot of buyers. So now you come back here and watch what we are talking about. We had similar move. We had similar move to the upside. You came back down. This is what we are expecting next. Now, this is wave 2, so the momentum should be higher. It should go up. The question a lot of people asking right now is, do we really have a lot of money on the sidelines to jump into the crypto market, to push the crypto market to $5 trillion, $10 trillion? I'm like, yeah, for sure. Why? Because we are not looking at it on the right angle. Say the market cap which is shown here is not the real stuff, basically. It's just multiplying the total supply with the price. It doesn't make any sense. Meaning, if you are looking at it, your supply is out of the market, my supply is out of the market. It's not in the market. So that's not the real value which is needed to push the price to the upside. So if that's showing you 1 trillion, maybe the market is like half of that. That means you don't really need that amount of money coming in to push that. You only need sellers to slow down and the buyers push the price up. Or you need sellers becoming buyers. And that's a possible move as soon as you bounce off from a support. That's why you get these impulsive moves. Even the sellers are backing out and becoming buyers. That's what we want to see. See, if you look at the economy, and right now you have even the optimist going on looking at the economy like this. Oh, it's going to drop. That means there is some issue. So that's exactly what we are talking about. And if you're like, okay, I want to know what are the different opportunities in the market, because the market is so wide. There is a lot of panic. There is a lot of information in the market, you can rely on the Scientific Investor family, where we go through all these assets, all these outlooks on a regular basis so that you understand where we are, so that you understand where the opportunities are really existing, you understand the risk, and you understand what your targets are. If you receive value, smash that like button for me. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.